A blessed day, everyone! Are you alive, alert, awake, and enthusiastic to learn? If yes, let us continue to thank the Lord. I am Mrs. Erlo V.S. Abalye, and welcome to the Grade 9 English class for second quarter. Before we proceed, do not forget to like, share, and hit the subscribe button and notification bell for updates about our latest videos. Are you reading a book now? Or are you studying a lesson? What's the latest story or poem that you are engaged with? Today, we're going to talk about the best way to remember and associate your ideas or experiences to those which are presented in any text that you are reading. And that is through annotation. Everybody, please say annotation. Do you have any idea what is annotation? I'm going to show you 3 pictures that will help you define annotation. Are you ready? I think you are ready. Let's get started. First picture. What do you think is the meaning of annotation through the first picture? Yes, you are right. It is highlighting the text. So in highlighting the text, you may use a highlighter or any color of crayons. Second picture. What does it mean? Alright, getting the meaning of unfamiliar words through looking in the dictionary or internet. The third picture. Alright, it's summarizing the text. Annotation is to make marks on the text. Have you tried annotating before? Let me know how much you know about annotation by identifying whether the given statements are true or false. Are you ready? Number 1. Annotating helps readers process what they are reading. True or false? The correct answer is true. You are right. Number 2. In annotating, we use stars to indicate uncertainty. True or false? The correct answer is false. Number 3. Paraphrasing or summarizing a chapter is a way of annotating. True or false? The correct answer is true. Number 4. Exclamation point is used to indicate a dramatic or key turning point. The correct answer is true. And number 5. Illustrated annotations make use of numbers in representing ideas. True or false? The correct answer is false. Thank you for cooperating in our activity. What's your score? If you got high score, very good. If you got low score, do not be dismayed because today you're going to learn a lot about annotations. Claim it. Come on, let's have it now. Making annotation. It is an excellent way to deconstruct the text. When I say deconstructing the text, it is examining the text part by part. And annotating is not just a way, but an excellent way. The result, better understanding. The goal of annotation is to connect whatever is in your mind to the world around you. To connect, to make connections between what you already know practically about anything and the world around you. The key term here is connections. According to Azevedo in 2017, there are 4 major benefits of annotating. The first one, it makes you more engaged in the material. When you annotate, your interest is kept. Number 2, it slows your reading that helps you to focus on details and have better retention and comprehension. How does it slow your reading? When you highlight, when you get the meaning of unfamiliar words, and when you summarize. Number 3, it helps you process what you are reading. And number 4, it records textual evidence for later reference. If you need to go back to any idea in the text, it's easy to do when you have annotation. We're done with the meaning of annotations, the benefits of annotations. Now, let's move on to the annotation strategies. In this one, we're going to use the song Auld Lang Syne. Are you familiar with this poem or song? Let's have it now. Number 1. In annotating, we use the common mark, which is circle. What's the strategy? Circle unfamiliar words, then look them up and write down the definition. For example, should old acquaintance be forgot? Do you see any unfamiliar word? Yes. What's the unfamiliar word? And circle it. Then, look for its meaning and write it. So when you say acquaintance, someone who is known but who is not a close friend. Another example, for Auld Lang Syne, my dear. For Auld Lang Syne. Do you see something unfamiliar? And circle it. Look for the meaning and write it down near the word. Very good, just like that. The meaning of Auld Lang Syne, old times. So this poem is a very good poem because it reminds us that we should never forget those people who became a very big part of our past, especially our childhood friends. Let's move on to number 2. The common mark is question mark. How do we use it? Use question marks to indicate area of uncertainty. For example, and surely you'll buy your pink cup. And surely I'll buy mine. If you have any question, put question mark and write down your question. Just like this. Why do they need to buy pink cups? Another question that you have in mind, put question mark and write your question. Can they use other type of cups aside from pink cup? So that's how we use question mark. Let's have the third one. The third mark is the use of star. How do we use it? Use stars to indicate anything that seems important. So what are those important things? They are themes, symbols, foreshadowing, and others. Example, for Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. So since the cup of kindness is a symbol, put a star. What does cup of kindness mean? The cup of kindness means goodwill, friendship, and kind regard. So this one is a tradition from Scotland. The same way, we have also this tradition in the Philippines. Isn't it? During birthdays, during weddings, we used to raise our glasses as a sign of friendship and kind regard. Number 4, the common mark is exclamation point. When our emotion is being touched, use exclamation points to indicate something dramatic or a key turning point. For example, in our line here, and there's a hand, my trusty friend, and give me a hand, oh thine. Isn't it? When we think about a friend whom we can lean on, a friend who is trustworthy, our emotion is being touched. So, when something is being touched emotionally, use exclamation point, just like this. Very good. Next, how about annotation for stories? We will have it on number 5. In number 5, we use circle or asterisk. How do we do it? Circle character names anytime they are introduced for the first time. For example, in a text that you read, you see the name Melody for the first time, don't forget to encircle it or put asterisk. As easy as that. Number 6. Keep a list somewhere, maybe on the inside cover, of all the characters and their traits. Are you familiar with the story of David and Goliath? So, what are you going to do? List the name and their descriptions. For example, the characters are David, Goliath, and King Saul. Description: David is a Hebrew shepherd. Goliath, the Philistine giant. King Saul, the king of Israel. Number 7. Write your notes in. The first one, write your notes in the margins. It is the best method. So write it directly on the story or the copy of the text that you are handling. The second one, on sticky notes. This is considered as the decent method. And the third one, in a separate notebook, which is considered as the least favorable method. Number 8, paraphrase or summarize each chapter after you finish reading it. You only need a few sentences to do this. Write them down at the beginning or end of the chapter. In our illustration, it shows there the summary of the chapter 8. Number 9. Write down any questions you have about the text. Either questions you are willing to wait to find out the answer as you read further, or questions you want to bring up to your teacher in the class the next day. For example, should old acquaintance be forgot? What could be your question here? Why forgot and not forgotten? So this talks about a grammatical question. Isn't it? When we use be, it must be followed by the past participle form of the verb. So this one, you may ask this to your teacher the next day. Number 10. Use a color-coded system if that type of thing appeals to you. So use different colors of highlighters. You may use orange, pink, violet. So for example, for pink, highlight for quotations or moral lesson. For orange, highlight the questions. Let's have the last one. Number 11. Give each chapter a title. So, after you finish reading each chapter, go back to its title page and give it a title. So it's about title making. You're going to make your own title. How do you do it? Use your keyword for each chapter. Question: do we have annotations using drawings? The answer is yes, we have. They are called as illustrated annotations. Just like on our example, if you feel like you like drawings, use images to represent concepts and elements. We call it as illustrated annotations. Wow! We learned a lot about making annotations. Give yourselves thumbs up. Let us apply what you learned. What are you going to do? Choose the letter of the answer that gives the correct way of annotating the text. Are you ready? In this one, we're going to use the poem The Passionate Shepherd to His Love by Christopher Marlowe as our text basis. Number 1. Which of the following shows the correct way of annotating a word which is unfamiliar to the reader? Is it letter A, letter B, letter C, or letter D? The correct answer is letter A. Use circle and put the meaning. Number 2. Which of the following shows the correct way of annotating the area of the poem which indicates uncertainty? Letter A, letter B, letter C, or letter D? The correct answer is letter C. Use question mark and write your question. Number 3. Which of the following shows the correct way of annotating the theme of the poem? Letter A, letter B, letter C, or letter D? Yeah, you got it right. It's letter B. Use star. Number 4. Which of the following shows the correct way of annotating the dramatic point of the poem? Letter A, letter B, letter C, or letter D? What's your answer? The correct answer is letter C. Use exclamation point. Number 5. Which is an example of an illustrated annotation of the shepherd? Is it A, B, C, or D? The correct answer is letter A. You got it right. Congratulations! I think you learned a lot about annotations today. Let's keep in mind this quotation from Martin Heidegger. It says, "Tell me how you read, and I'll tell you who you are." God bless us all. See you on the next videos.